Mr. Harrison threw my pay onto the floor. "Pick it up," he said. "Your family needs every coin." I looked at the money near my shoes. My hands hurt. My back hurt too. I worked all week for that pay. Still, he gave me almost nothing. I thought about my mother and my sister. They waited for me at home. We had little food left. I felt afraid, but I did not bend down. "No," I said. "I will not work here again." Then I walked out with empty hands. To understand why I did this, we must go back 3 years. My name was Daniel. I was 13 years old. My sister Lucy was 15. Before that year ended, we both changed. My father's name was Robert. He worked every day for our family. My mother, Margaret, stayed at home. She cooked, cleaned, and cared for us. We did not have much money. Still, our home felt warm and safe. Lucy loved Father very much. She waited near the door each evening. She told him about school and her friends. I also loved him, but I spoke less. Father often touched my shoulder. "Help your family," he said, "but do not carry everything alone." At that time, I did not understand him. Then Father became sick one morning. Mother called a doctor. The doctor sent him to the hospital. The next day, Father died. After that day, our home did not feel safe anymore. After the funeral, Mother sat at the kitchen table. She held Father's coat for many hours. Lucy stayed inside her room. She did not eat with us. I walked around the house in silence. Father's shoes still stood near the door. His cup still sat near the sink. I expected him to return, but each evening the doors stayed closed. Soon bills came to our home. Father brought all the money before he died. Now no one worked. Mother counted our coins every night. One night I heard her crying. "How will I feed them?" she asked herself. I stood outside the kitchen. I wanted to tell her not to worry, but I did not know how to help. The next morning, I made a choice. I told Mother I wanted to work. She looked at me with wide eyes. "No, Daniel," she said, "you must stay in school." I promised to work after school. I also promised to study at night. Mother still said no. Then I showed her the empty food box. She looked away and began to cry. At last, she agreed. A bicycle shop stood near the market. Mr. Harrison owned the shop. He needed someone to clean the floor. I went there after school. He looked at my thin arms and laughed. "You are too small," he said. I told him I could work hard. He agreed to try me for 1 week, but his smile made me feel worried. My first day started with a dirty floor. I swept dust and oil for hours. Then Mr. Harrison gave me heavy boxes. "Move them to the back," he said. The boxes hurt my arms. I asked for a short rest. He looked at me with anger. "Do you want money or rest?" he asked. I continued working. Later, he showed me some bicycle tools. I watched him fix a chain. I also watched him change a wheel. I learned quickly. At sunset, he gave me a few coins. The pay was very small. Still, I bought bread and milk. I felt proud when I reached home. Then I heard Lucy shouting at Mother. My hard day was not over. Lucy changed after Father died. She stopped helping Mother. She often missed school. She stayed outside until late. Mother asked many questions. Lucy answered with anger. "Leave me alone," she said. One night she came home after midnight. Mother waited near the door. Her face looked tired and afraid. "Where were you?" Mother asked. Lucy took off her coat. "It does not matter," she said. I stood up from my chair. "You worried her," I said. Lucy looked at me and laughed. "You are my little brother," she said. "Do not act like Father." I wanted to shout at her. Instead, I stayed quiet. But her words stayed in my mind all night. My life soon felt like 2 long days. The first day started at school. Then I went to the shop. Mr. Harrison made me clean and carry tools. He also made me lift heavy bicycle parts. I came home after dark. Then my second day started. I helped Mother cook dinner. I checked the bills with her. I also waited for Lucy. Some nights I fell asleep at the table. Lucy saw my dirty clothes. She saw my tired face, but she said nothing. I thought she did not care.
She thought I wanted to control her. Each day we spoke less. Then Mother became weak during dinner. That night changed our family.
Mother stood near the stove. She tried to make soup. Suddenly, the spoon fell from her hand. Then she fell against the table. I ran and held her arm. Lucy stood near the door. She wore her coat again. "Help me," I said. Lucy looked at Mother, but she did not move. "She only needs sleep," she said. Then she reached for the door. I became angry. I wanted to stop her with hard words, but I remembered Father. I spoke slowly. "Mother needs us," I said. Lucy turned to me. "She needs money," she said. "You think your job makes you better." I looked at my hands. Then I decided to show her the truth.
"I do not feel better than you," I said. "I feel afraid." Lucy looked surprised. I showed her my hands. Small cuts covered my fingers. My skin looked red and dry. I told her about the heavy boxes. I told her about Mr. Harrison shouting. I also told her about my fear. "I may lose my job," I said. "Then we may lose our home." Lucy stayed quiet. I took a slow breath. "I do not know how to be father," I said. "I am only 13. Her face changed. She looked at me for a long time. Then she sat on the floor. "I am afraid too," she said. After that, she told me her secret. Lucy looked down at her hands. "I fought with Father," she said. "It happened on his last morning. Father asked her to stay home that day. Lucy wanted to see her friends. She became angry and left. When she returned, Father was at the hospital. She never spoke to him again. Maybe he thought I did not love him," she said. Tears ran down her face. I sat beside her. "He knew you loved him," I said. "You told him every day." Lucy shook her head. I held her hand. For the first time, we cried together. We spoke about Father for many hours. The next morning, Lucy did something we did not expect. Lucy woke early and put on her school clothes. Mother looked at her with surprise. Lucy ate breakfast with us. Then she went back to school. That evening, she came home before dark. She helped Mother wash the dishes. She also made tea for me. Her change was slow. Some days she still became angry. Some nights she still cried. But now she spoke to us. She stopped running from home. She also began to notice my pain. One evening, she cleaned a cut on my hand. "Why do you stay at that shop?" she asked. I looked at the money on the table. "We need it," I said. Lucy did not agree. Soon, Mr. Harrison gave her a reason. Mr. Harrison gave me more work each week. He taught me less and shouted more. I fixed chains and changed wheels. I also cleaned every tool. When customers liked my work, he took the praise. When a repair failed, he blamed me. He often kept me after closing time. I returned home too late to study. My schoolwork became worse. One night Lucy found me asleep over my books. She touched my shoulder. "You cannot keep doing this," she said. I told her I had no choice. She offered to find work too. I refused. "You must stay in school," I said. Lucy looked hurt. I wanted to protect her, but my choice made her feel weak again.
The next week, Mr. Harrison promised more money. He gave me 6 bicycles to repair. I worked during my lunch break. I also stayed after sunset. My hands became very sore. Still, I finished every bicycle. On payday, he gave me less money. I counted the coins twice. "You promised more," I said. He pointed at an old tool. "You broke that," he said. The tool was broken before I used it. I told him the truth. He laughed. "Take the money or leave," he said. I looked at the coins. Mother needed food. Lucy needed school books. I took the money, but I felt very small. Lucy saw that feeling when I came home. Lucy counted the coins. "This is not enough," she said. I told her what happened. Her face became red. "He knows you need the job," she said. "That is why he hurts you." I told her we could not lose the pay. Lucy opened Father's old toolbox. She placed it on the table. "You can repair bicycles," she said. "You do it every day." I laughed because I felt afraid. "We do not have a shop," I said. "We do not have customers." Lucy looked at me. "We have tools," she said. "We have your hands. We can start small." I wanted to believe her, but I still went back to work the next day.
That day, a customer brought an old bicycle. Mr. Harrison could not find the problem. I looked at the chain in the back wheel. I found a small broken part. I fixed it in 1 hour. The customer smiled and paid well. Mr. Harrison kept all the money. At closing time, he threw my pay onto the floor. It was smaller again. "Pick it up," he said. "Your family needs every coin." I looked at the money. I thought about Mother's fear. I thought about Lucy's words. Then I said, "No." Mr. Harrison looked at me. "What did you say?" he asked. "I will not work here again," I said. Then I walked out with nothing. The walk home felt very long. I feared Mother's face. I also feared Lucy's words. We had little food left. When I entered, Lucy saw my empty hands. "I left the job," I said. "We have no money for tomorrow." Mother covered her mouth. No one spoke for a moment. Then Lucy brought Father's toolbox. She placed it in front of me. "Then we start now," she said. I looked at her. Months earlier, she wanted to leave our home. Now she wanted to build something with me. We found Father's old bicycle outside. Its chain was broken. Its wheels looked dirty. The next morning, we carried it in front of our house. I repaired Father's bicycle near our front door. Lucy cleaned the frame. Mother watched us from the window. Lucy made a small sign. It said, "Daniel's Bicycle Repairs." We waited all day. No one came. The second day was the same. I wanted to remove the sign. Then a young boy stopped near us. His bicycle chain was loose. I fixed it in a few minutes. He gave me 1 small coin. The next day, he returned with a friend. I repaired another bicycle. Lucy wrote every payment in a notebook. We saved each coin. The money was small, but it came from our work. Soon more people began to stop. Our small work grew each week. I repaired bicycles after school. Lucy spoke to customers. She also helped Mother at home. Some weeks were still hard. We sometimes had no money for new parts. We also had days with no customers. During those days, I felt afraid again. Lucy always sat beside me. "1 customer became 2, she said. 2 can become more." After 1 year, we saved enough money. We rented a small room near the market. The room was old and dark. Still, my name stood above the door. I looked at the sign for a long time. Then, Lucy placed Father's toolbox near my table. The shop became busy after some time. People trusted me because I told the truth. I charged fair prices. I also explained every repair. Lucy stayed in school. She helped with the money after class. Mother made tea for us. We still missed Father every day, but his memory also gave us hope. One evening, Lucy brought a small picture frame. Inside it was Father's photo. He stood beside his old bicycle. Lucy wrote a short message on the back. "You did not become Father," she wrote. "You helped us become strong again." I read the words many times. Then I looked at my sister and understood something important.
Years passed, and the shop became successful. Later, I opened another shop. I gave young workers fair pay. I never shouted at them. I remembered my own first job. Lucy finished school and worked with me. She became calm and strong. Mother no longer cried over bills. On our 10th year, we stood under the shop sign. Mother held Father's picture. Lucy held the old toolbox. I remembered the boy I was at 13. I thought strength meant doing everything alone. I was wrong. Real strength started when I told Lucy my fear. It grew when she told me hers. We did not save each other with money. We saved each other by staying together. A family becomes strong when each person helps carry the pain.